building and rapidly landing and executing their projects with regards to data centers. For many years in Klang Valley as well, whether it's in Cyberjaya, whether it's in PJ, whether it's in what is now called Technology Innovation Park Malaysia, or only a few years ago Meranti Park. This is, I think, a set of rapid growth and developments that we are trying to do. And with that comes the requirements, or rather high requirements and a spike of requirements for water, industrial water, for energy. So we need to be able, by having all these players in the ecosystem, we need to be able to take the conversation beyond just the investments for data center, whether it's foreign direct investments or even domestic expansion of investments. So that's where I think MDEC, and hopefully together with MIDA, to be able to explain, elaborate what sort of services, what sort of solutions that we can build from this, and how do, for MDEC very much, we create more solutions that is exportable out of Malaysia itself. And this is what we want to be able to do. So Prime Minister last Friday spoke about the need for talents as well. While we think about talents for artificial intelligence, cloud and things like that, there's also a highly sought talents needed for data center construction, data center operations. While the numbers per data center is small, but actually the more data centers that we have, and the higher the need for this kind of talents and resources that we need to build. There's a bunch of supply chain ecosystem that we have to create in Malaysia with regards to this. So again, as we look from the utilization of big data analytics, IoT, and the likes, and the solutions that is based on cloud, we need to be able to see how we can actually create this set of ecosystem to capitalize on the momentum. As far as I think idea that we are also looking at this, MDEC, and very soon together with Plan Malaysia is also looking at an initiative that goes beyond smart city. So one of the things that we have included within the verticals that we support at MDEC is the digital city. Again, I'm not a big fan of just merely rebranding smart city to digital city, but rather there are certain categories that we would like to have for a city to be considered digital or to be leveraging on digital services, data and the likes. So this is coming and to be announced jointly between the Ministry of Digital, now 6 months old, and also the Local and Housing Government Ministry as well, or KPKT for short, to be able to do this together. So there's a bit of an alignment. And why that is important, as we usher in Malaysia Digital, or MD, as it's commonly referred to today, there are a few aspects. One is the status, 2 is the location, 3 is the infrastructure, 4 is the incentives, and lastly is the aspect of focus on Malaysia-based companies exporting to other parts. If it's not ASEAN, it can be APEC as well. So this would be some of the things that are at the top of our heads as we transform Malaysia and as we develop ASEAN together with our neighbors, and we see how Malaysia fits with the rest of the other countries as well. So again, I'm sharing some of these thoughts and for you to look at. I'm sure there will be more technical discussions. There are exhibitions on the other side, and I compel and encourage more conversations over the next couple of days for us to be able to see, engage, and discover new ideas and opportunities where possible. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. Mr. Mahathir Aziz, please remain on stage because right now we would like to call upon the CEO of Tradepass, Mr. Sudhir Jinnah, to pass a token of appreciation. Thank you, gentlemen. You may be seated. All right, with the summit being officiated, let's now move on to the first keynote session, ladies and gentlemen. Get your notebooks, iPads, Android tablets, however you may call it, ready, as we will call upon the first speaker of the day. He is an Australian sales executive serving as the Asia Pacific sales and ecosystem leader for Turbonomic and Instana at IBM. I'd also like to note that he rejoined IBM after a successful 6-year tenure at Micro Focus, so best believe he knows what is up on his sleeves. He will be speaking on how can you optimize your data center and hyperscalers. Ladies and gentlemen, delegates, please welcome Mr. Brent Butchert.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here. And I just wanted to let everyone know that I love being in Malaysia. A gentleman from Kuching had a great influence on my life when I was a young man, put me on the right path. But my first overseas basing back in 1996 was in Malaysia, where I fell in love with the local food. And the food stall vendor, when I left, didn't know my name, but he called me Mr. Chicken Rice because that's what I consumed each and every day. Mr. MAHADHIR Aziz made some good points about balance and investments. How do we get the most out of those investments, not just building for the sake of building? Can we optimize? Can we get more out of what we have today? And I firmly believe that you have the right ingredients to be the powerhouse of hosting data centers and large IT infrastructure of the future. But it's not just going to come from a talent pool. It's not just going to come from access to the appropriate resources, but it's how operationally efficient that you're going to execute that. So what we need to look at is how we modernize our data center management. And I want you to think very carefully, You cannot change the outcome unless you change. I speak to many people and they say, but that will require change. So we need to accept that we need to change the way we operate if we are going to affect the outcome. Otherwise, we're just going to be in that loop of insanity. So if we accept that, then we can understand what the true problem is. And we address this problem by combining AI with analytics and automation, and we've made significant investments in this space. AI can give us great insights, but on itself, it's academic. Because we cannot trust implicitly what AI gives us. But what it can do is help you with the unknown unknowns. So we need to combine this with trained analytics, trusted analytics, which then can give us a quantified outcome. And again, this is getting us closer, but we're still academic because we have yet to take action. And without action at scale, through automation, we won't realize these benefits. But what are we trying to address? Waste. You don't have a cost problem. You don't have a CO2 problem. You don't have an energy problem. You have a waste problem because you are operationally inefficient. And the reason why, we'll go into in a moment, but that waste is then realized as cost and energy. But it's realized without benefit. We will always need to consume energy. Things will always cost something. But are we doing it for economic gain? Are we creating value? And that is what our measure should be. And if we accept now that we have a wastage issue due to operational inefficiencies, then we can truly get down to what we need to, which is how do I eliminate the waste? And if I focused on that, of eliminating the waste, the flow-on benefits of cost and energy will take care of themselves. We all know we're moving. If you put that just in the cloud perspective, $200 billion are spent